it's me. Well, welcome to the show. It's the Eric and Brad Show, episode 20. I'm Eric. This is Brad. This is an exciting milestone. We got 20 episodes under our belt. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, all those. I don't know if we're on Pandora yet. Are we on Pandora yet? No, still nothing from Pandora. All those other ones. Blah, blah, blah. Podcast Addict is where I listen. iTunes. So we're here to start the show. How was your week, Brad?
It was okay.
Yeah, you
Fucking,
you seem down.
I'm hurting. Fucking, I feel like I'm hungover.
What happened?
Oh,
You get drunk last night?
nothing. No, I didn't drink a single drop. My legs hurt. My fucking shoulders hurt. My face hurts.
You sleep weird?
Ah, maybe.
Did you
I think it's just getting older.
Did you get abducted last night?
No, I hope not.
Yeah.
I think it's just getting older. As of my 28 years on this planet, it's catching up to me.
Do you sleep on like a nice bed or a crappy bed?
Well, it's a king size bed that I purchased in 2016.
Is it super soft?
Yeah, it's foam.
I find that when I sleep on a crappy bed, like I went when I was doing the motel stint and staying in a motel, I was staying in a Motel 6 and they had a crappy, flat, just hard bed. Dude, I slept like a
Mm-hmm.
baby. Like I went from a soft bed to that crappy bed, and man, I woke up every day feeling so much better just on a stiff bed. I don't know. I think there's something to it. I don't like soft beds anymore. I was all about having a big old pillow top soft bed. It is
Yeah.
comfortable, but I wake up in the morning and I'm like, fuck, my neck hurts.
Uh, yeah, it's like the mattress I had back then in 2016 it was past its day. It was done,
Yeah.
and I needed a new bed. So I was like doing research and shit, and then they said that spring mattresses have a life of 7 years and foam mattresses have a life of 10 years. So I was like, okay, I guess to get your money's worth, you should probably go this way. So it's one of those beds I ordered that showed up in a box on my front step. It's a king size bed,
And then it
and you
just,
just unwrap it. Yeah, and it takes like 12 hours to just expand completely.
huh.
But I don't know. It is what it is. I feel like you still need to like rotate them, which is probably what I need to do. Who the fuck knows?
Do
They
you,
say they say you should spend a lot of money on your bed. You should because you spend more time there than anywhere
well,
else.
you
More
know
time
who
than your
says
car.
that? The people making beds say that is who's
But it
spreading
makes
those
sense.
rumors. Yeah, I mean, I get the idea, but do you not agree, like, that there's probably a lot of benefits to sleeping on a hard surface or a harder surface than a pillow top surface
Yeah.
or a foam surface?
No, I agree.
I slept, dude, in that hotel room. I slept, man, every morning I was like, it has to be the bed because I was waking up feeling great. Just body
Yeah.
felt great, wasn't all stiff. I think there's something to it.
Some magical fucking Super 8 mattress that nobody knows about.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get when we do the investment, I think I'm gonna get one of those uh sleep numbers, you know what I mean? So that because
People.
she likes it all soft, and I want it hard, real hard.
Uh-huh. Okay. You mean you want one of those old people beds where
Where
it
you
like
can sit
lifts
up.
your legs up?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Uh, so yesterday we guested on a show.
Oh, it was great. Lawrence Purrier. I think I got it right.
So yeah, let's not give away like too much of what we discussed on there because we want people to go listen to it. But it's not going to be out for about 2 weeks. So when it comes out, we're going to want everyone to go check it out. I'm certainly going to check it out because by then I'll probably have forgotten, everything that was discussed about it. But it was a really cool experience, and I think it went pretty dang well. I think we actually did really well. I was thinking about this yesterday while I was cleaning out my work truck, scrubbing the floors of it. I was like, I thought we actually did pretty well
Heck yeah.
because I think we actually went the whole time without swearing, which kind of crazy, you know? I don't know. I think it went well.
Yeah. My mouth is a problem. You said that at the end of the episode, and I didn't even think about it. And then, yeah, I thought about it a little bit afterwards, and I think it's like a subconscious thing. When I get like
Yeah.
comfortable with someone, like me and you, I'm
Yeah.
getting to the point of being really comfortable to where it doesn't even feel
Uh,
like, most of the time, it doesn't feel like we're doing a podcast. I just feel like I'm talking
right.
to you like 80% of the time.
Right.
And
Right.
once I'm real comfortable with someone and they're like an adult and I'm not nervous about, yeah, I'll just start, oh, fuck this, right, fuck F, blah, 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 blah. Just start cussing up
Yeah.
a storm. And I didn't even think about it
Yeah.
with him, but I think I just didn't know the guy. And yeah, so I'm being more courteous and
Yeah.
not loading the shotgun up and just like, boom, fucking F this, F that.
Yeah, and I don't notice it during the show, but then when I'm listening back, it's like there was almost a spot of last week's episode. I was gonna cut out like a 10-second clip because it was like 10 fucks within 10 seconds. I was like, oh my
With me
god,
or,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I was,
It was a lot.
yeah, I do I listened back to last week and I was like, geez Louises, someone was fired up. I don't know where all the anger was coming from and
Right.
the passion, like I was passionate about something. I apologize for how I got real worked up last week. It was a lot of cursing, a lot of not well thought out points that was real passionate about. So, I'm gonna try to dial it back. It's all a learning experience.
I think it went well though, and I like that guy a lot. Um, it was cool.
Yeah. So what's the name of his
But
podcast? Is it just Lawrence Purrier or
no, it's called Spotlight on dot dot dot
Spotlight
light
On? And it's
light spelled
light.
Lyt
Yep.
Lyte.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Spotlight on, but we'll discuss it further once it's released and afterward as well. um so I kind of hate to do this, but I want to just get it over with. um Fucking we got there's a bunch of YouTube comments that I haven't mentioned that I want to just kind of breeze through. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, someone's
And
pocket.
yeah, right. And so let me just run through them, and also a new iTunes review we got that you can kind of try to fucking dissect.
Okay.
So our listener Jay commented on episode 6. He said, Eric is very unsettling to watch on YouTube. His face scares me. Also, pro tip, if you are going to discuss a documentary on air, maybe pre-plan and watch it first, you jabronis.
Air?
So that was what?
Air?
Yeah, if you're gonna discuss a documentary on air, like on the show,
Oh. I was like, there's a documentary on air? Like, okay.
right? And so that was on episode 6 with John as our guest. I think he's talking about the Michael Jordan documentary, but
Oh,
I watched it. I watched it after that and discussed it again next week. So there was that.
okay.
Um, our listener Christopher, I think your buddy, not the Chris that was a guest, another one. He's like, Eric, you got to bust out your banana socks for these guys.
Oh.
I also counted 1 week, but I counted the number of times you guys said like, and let me tell you, it was bananas.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He also said, LOL, dude needs to listen to some more shit from CT. I can guarantee I can put at least a dozen jams in his ear holes that he'd dig. So I'm guessing CT means Corey Taylor.
Oh, yep,
Sorry,
yep, yep, yep.
not happening because of Corey Taylor talking shit about Kanye West. I don't like the guy. I'm sorry. And I don't like your band where you murder
Oh, is
your
that
math.
where this all comes from?
No, I didn't
No.
like that Slipknot.
No.
I didn't like Slipknot in high school because I thought they were stupid. But then a few years later, Corey Taylor was talking shit about Kanye, and I was like, "Fuck you, dude."
Oh, now it's all making sense. All comes full
Anyway,
circle where the Slipknot hate comes from.
yeah, it's solidified. And then my buddy DJ, which we could maybe we could have more of a DJ conversation one day. My buddy DJ said Zevia rules. Hell yeah, fucking Zevia does rule. Um, and then Jay, our listener Jay, commented on another show saying, "I wish Eric did this podcast with his shirt off." So I just wanted to breeze through some of those.
Why? I don't get
Um,
that. What's that about?
I don't know. He just said, "I wish Eric did this podcast with his shirt off." Smiley face.
Is this a person you know?
Yeah, my buddy Jay.
Okay. Okay. I don't understand that
I
one.
mean, I don't either. He just he's trying to catch up. So he commented that other one on episode 6, and now that one was commented on episode 12.
I
So he's
wonder
almost caught up.
I wonder if it's something I said about having a crossbuster tattooed on my chest,
Maybe,
and
maybe
then
I don't know.
I wonder if that has something to do with it. Or it might have something
Yeah.
to do with, didn't I tell the story about doing, I think I told the story on here about when I was streaming and when I was trying to stream or whatever, and I woke up in the morning and
Mhm.
just jumped on gaming and had the camera on and I had my
Yeah, you
shirt
told that,
off. Maybe that's where that came from.
right?
Those are the only two connections I can come with. Or he just thinks, who doesn't like this body? I mean, it's a real piece of work.
Yeah. Hey Jay, if you're gonna comment on episodes from 2 months ago, maybe fucking be clear. I love you. I'm sorry.
Ah,
So then we got another review on Apple Podcasts, which you can find us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review if you'd like. But this one was in Russian. So
what?
this is what it kind of looks like. Uh,
Did you do any kind
five
of
stars.
any kind of did you
Yeah, I
type that
did.
into Google? What's it say?
It says something along the lines of "Hello, friends, keep going,"
Nice.
something like that.
Nice. So we got a
But
Russian
five
follower?
star 5 stars, so I appreciate that. It's by the Thor 3722, I believe. And then it just says Russian words.
I wonder
So
I wonder if that's Fox. You know what
yeah,
I
it
mean?
is.
It is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Dirty dog.
You get
You try to trick me. You try to
How did
trick
you
me
know that?
because his name is Fox. Because I'm super smart.
Oh shit. All right. So just wanted to breeze through. I mean those have been piling up for a few weeks, so I just wanted to breeze through them and make sure everybody, gets a little shout out. So I had to fucking do that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I think your friends are more supportive of you than my friends are. My friends make fun of me a lot more than it seems like your
Yeah.
friends do. Like at work, I went to work the other day and I've run into this huge group that I haven't talked to in forever, and they're just like, what's this Eric and Brad show thing all about? And I just like, yeah, I explained it all to them. They're like, huh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe it's because maybe it's because I'm such an asshole. Like I just tear people apart,
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. And that maybe it just comes back to me a little bit. I'm a kind of an asshole. I don't know if you sense it at all or get it, but I've had. Did I ever tell? Have I ever told the story about? This was
Oh Jesus.
no. Oh my gosh, I'm not. Am I not allowed to tell stories anymore?
No, go for it. Go for it.
When I was this was a huge moment. Like the first time in my life I really ever like stepped back and just, holy shit, like you're kind of a piece of shit. So I must have been 22 or something like that. I went to the bar and I ran into this girl that I hadn't seen in forever, and we used to ride the bus together. And she came up to me and she's just like, "Do you know blah blah blah?" She said this girl's name. And she's like, do you remember her? Well, obvious, something like that. And it was obvious. I was like, yeah. And she's like, every day that she would get off the bus, she would like go home and cry because of you. And I was like, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah. And I told the girl, I was like, man, I had like the fattest crush on that girl growing up. I don't remember even being mean to this girl. And then it just like she walked up to me in the bar, said that, and just like pointed her finger at me, and she's like, "You're a fucking asshole." And she's like, "You made this girl cry like every day in high school." I'm just like, "What?"
Hmm.
And then yeah, I don't know. And then I started being real self-reflective, like, man, I guess you are kind of an asshole. But in my mind, growing up, I was always like a small kid And so I'd always just make fun of people. I don't know, like try to divert attention away from myself, like onto other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like,
Right.
ha, 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 look at this kid. You know what I mean? Like da da da. And then once I got
Yeah.
older, look back on it like, man, you probably pissed off a fuckload of people. I don't know how I never got beat up in high school. Like that was a real dick
Right.
to people. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, see, a lot of times throughout my life, I always have those thoughts of like back when I'm home alone after hanging out with people, I'm always like, God, like everybody must think that you're just fucking just an annoying idiot. And like just imagining like you're hanging out with people and standing in like a circle of people talking, and then you leave and you're just like, I'm probably the worst one of the group. Like I'm probably the one everyone is kind of like laughing about or whatever. Just have those thoughts. But then a few years ago, this girl who I worked with, one day she was like, you're more likable than you think. And I was kind of thinking, and I spent a lot of time thinking about that. And I'm like, maybe I am more likable than I think. And then now it's kind of to the point where I just take that as fact. And then when I'm going into a situation like a job interview or something, I'm like, they're gonna like you. They're gonna like you're like the most likable. They're
Someone
gonna like you.
stroked your ego and it just stayed there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like I could do anything
Yeah,
because I'm so likable.
don't ever say that to me because yeah, I'll take that. I'll fucking get real puffed up. I will be
Right,
on next episode with the shirt off, just like yeah.
right.
Ah,
Um, can I sing you a song
oh my God, please do.
and stop me when you realize what it is?
Okay.
Okay. Underneath the bridge, tarp has sprung a leak, and animals I catch all become my pets. Something in the way.
Oh, Nirvana.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you should have known by the fucking first line. You did, and you just let me keep
No,
going.
I didn't know until you did something in the way.
Um, that song is hit number 22 on the iTunes charts this week.
Why?
Woohoo! Why?
Yeah.
Because the trailer for the fucking Batman movie is out, and that song plays throughout the whole trailer, and it is amazing. It's so good. The trailer.
Nice. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's fucking sweet and dark. And then throughout the trailer it has that playing underneath the
That's a
bridge in a
good
dark.
that is a great trailer song. Very
Yeah,
yeah,
it
that's
is.
like do you remember I think the most effective trailer I've ever seen, and I hope you'll agree with me, and I hope a lot of listeners will remember this moment because I think it was one of the, like I don't know, the first time that a commercial came out and they just knocked it out of the park with the music and just the way they did their slow-mo thing. Do you remember it would have been like 2008, I think, when Gears of War came out. Do you remember that? Um, and it was that song that was
A trailer
also
for a game.
yeah, for Gears, dude, it was an amazing commercial. Like
Okay.
insane.
Yeah.
It was the same I can't remember the song. It was the same song that was on Donnie Darko. Um, something about dreams as
Yeah.
uh what is the
Yeah. Yeah.
something about the
It's a
world. What's the name of that
mad
song?
world or whatever.
Yeah. You
Mad
don't remember
world.
that commercial for Gears of
I
War?
think I do.
It was
I think I do.
huge. It was huge, and it was yeah. It sucked you in, and it was all in slow mo and just
Dun, 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 familiar
faces.
faces
Yeah, and like all the
around
big ass cartoon
faces.
guys with the chainsaws on their gun are like running all slow mo, sliding by.
Yeah. I think I do remember
It
that. Good
was
trailer. I don't like the game, but
well, no, I don't either. But their
yeah.
marketing team, that guy, talk about stroking someone's ego. That guy came out, he left that meeting fucking rock hard. He came out like, "Yep, I'm a bad
Yeah.
motherfucker."
Yeah, that's the trailer that makes you be like, maybe I should buy this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
fucking
guarantee
yeah,
that
okay.
trailer probably accounted for 20% of their sales, like just the
Right.
trailer. Marketing
This
team.
fucking this trailer is gonna allot for me to be 20% earlier to the fucking
Wait, this
theaters
is Batman
because
you're talking about? I forgot already.
yeah.
Okay. What's the name of this
Um,
Batman?
Bridge, the movie?
Yeah. Is it like Batman Dark Knight
Man,
or
no, the Batman,
just Batman?
the Batman,
The Batman.
the Batman.
Okay. Is this and it's real dark on
Something.
this one?
Oh, real dark. Go dark. I'll go as dark as you want to go.
Is
Let's
it
go
is
deep
there a
down
Joker in
dark.
this one? Or no, wait, aren't they isn't this the one they're bringing back the Penguin or something like that?
And the Riddler. And
Oh
the
my
Riddler.
gosh. Is this a Tim Burton?
No, fuck no.
Fuck no. Who's the director
Fuck him.
or whatever?
His name's Matt Reeves.
Huh? Is he famous or
I don't know. I think he's doing a great job already. I'll tell you that right now. Just off the 2-minute trailer. I'm loving him.
Man, I heard I now that you're saying this, I'm remembering
Oh.
other people talk about this show or this movie coming out.
So he's only done maybe 7 or 8 movies. He did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes. He did Cloverfield.
All those movies were
But
garbage.
I liked The Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He didn't do that one. He did the other two.
Yeah. I didn't like any of the Planet of the Apes and whatever.
No, Rise of the Planet of the Apes
Wait,
was good with James
Cloverfield?
Franco.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
That's the is am I thinking of the wrong movie? Is Cloverfield the one where it's all like shot on a camera?
Yeah.
Ah, man, that movie sucked balls. I hated that movie.
Yeah.
That movie was so trash.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
while we're talking about movies, guess what Daddy watched?
Oh, Parasite?
Boom! I did.
Did you like it?
Dude, it is not at all what I expected. Not even close.
Right?
It like
No.
it blew me away. Very good movie. Very good movie. I
I told you.
I was thinking, especially by like the picture with you see these like Asian people with X's through their eyes and stuff. I was thinking it was gonna be like a World War Z type movie or something like that, like zombies or something like that, especially with the name
Stop clicking
Parasite.
that thing. Stop clicking that.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Um,
Yeah.
Not at all. That
Dude.
isn't the movie at all. And you know, it does have an aspect to the movie that something that I hate. It drives me nuts. This has to do with like the Adam Sandler movie that I was talking about the other day. Kind of to where there's just tension. There's just so much tension in it. And I don't know if
Yeah.
tension's the right word, but the whole movie you're just like, oh, like oh my gosh, like just so much crap going on, and like no, really, it just keeps building and building and building and building, and the whole thing. I don't want to give away
Yeah.
anything because you guys like
No, let's not.
you really do need to watch the movie if you haven't seen it. It is very good, and the
It's
subtitle thing, you forget about that in the first 15 seconds. You're just over it.
right?
Just don't.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, I'm just it's like holy crap. I just sat through a movie. I didn't even realize I was reading the whole time. You don't realize you're
Yeah.
reading. I don't know if it
Yeah.
adds to the movie. You know what I mean? Like, does it add?
So I think it doesn't make I think it doesn't add or take away. I think it doesn't make a difference. I don't know. I don't know. I guess if they were speaking English, I guess you might be like, this is stupid. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was so good. I mean,
Yeah, 5 stars. 5 stars. And
it wasn't that scary really. There was one part that freaked me the fuck out, but it wasn't really that scary.
are you talking the
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
I was like,
Dude, the way they
was like,
shot
that's
that was perfect.
oh, I was like, that's one of the scariest things I've ever seen. Images I've ever seen in my life. That's terrifying, dude.
It was so
Ugh.
perfect. It was so perfect. Yeah,
But
please watch that movie. Very well done. Very well done.
it was so good.
We had it at the end of the movie. Me and my girlfriend had, you know, a moment where I I didn't think it was that good. And then we talked about it for 5 minutes, and I was like, actually, that movie was incredible. That movie was so good,
Yeah,
and we're sitting here talking about it, and I could talk about it for another half an hour. Like it was
yeah.
so good.
It was better, in my opinion. The Academy did it right, where it was better than Once Upon a Time, and it was better than Joker. I think I have to say it, and The Irishman.
Irishman sucked. I didn't like that movie. Um,
I loved it.
I did.
Once Upon a Time is a close second.
Irish. Okay, let me take it back. Irishman didn't suck. It's not. It's not. It didn't beat those movies at all. It's not even in the
No, it
same
didn't.
ballpark. It's just an okay movie.
Yeah,
But when you're going up against heavy hitters like that, I don't know, man. That's a hard toss up. They're both to me. I wouldn't be able to pick that. I wouldn't be mad. Now that I've seen both those movies, I'm not mad that Parasite took it. But I wouldn't have been
right.
mad if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood took it either, because it,
But not Joker.
I haven't seen that movie yet, so I can't
Oh
I
fuck.
can't
Okay.
say that. I've been wanting to do it. I've been trying to see it, but it's not on any streaming service.
Yeah. Um. Fuck. I wish I would have seen Parasite in the theater. God damn it.
Yeah,
It took me so long to watch it, but then our listener Chris finally fucking made me watch it, and I was like, halfway through, I was like, this is incredible. And I'll just say this, like, as soon as like the son gets the idea to have someone else come work for the family, I'm like, oh, I get the whole movie. I completely get it. Like, I understand it now.
yeah,
It was just fucking great.
yeah.
And it didn't make me want to move to Korea, which a lot of movies make me want to, like, oh man, I should be a doctor or a lawyer, or I should move to Japan, or fuck, I should have been in the military. It didn't make me want to move to Korea. It almost wasn't that good of a PR piece. I guess, for the country it was in. I don't know. It was weird. And halfway through it, I was like, this is the greatest foreign film of all time. I was like, and it's like, I'm not some foreign film buff where I'm watching all these foreign films, but I'm like, this is hands down the greatest foreign film of all time,
Yeah,
easily.
I haven't seen very many foreign films, but it's number
Right.
one for me so far.
Exactly.
Ah,
Exactly. Fucking great.
did you ever see that foreign film? Man, I'm so bad about talking about stuff, and I don't know the name of it. I'm just hoping
The
you
new?
do. Uh, I want to say it's like District 9 or something like that. It's a French like
Yeah.
action movie. You ever seen that movie?
Well, District 9 was based in Africa about aliens.
Okay, it's not that, but it's like District something. It's these two French guys. It's all in subtitles, and they're just they're like John Wick type guys. But it's like kind of this futuristic. There's like all these districts, and everyone in the district is locked into their district, and like the blacks all own one district, and they're like kind of Jamaican people, and then there's another district, and it's all super ghetto, crime ridden. They have cars with big machine guns attached to the back of them, and just all everyone's like poor, and then there's like this shadow government thing like running everybody, and they've just stuck all the poor people like in these ghettos, and then
Oh,
man, I can't remember the name of it. I'm such an asshole. Excellent movie.
yeah.
Definitely not at all greatest movie of all time, but it was a very good foreign film. If you like action movies, it was good, and the fighting in it was cool. They did good on the fighting. It was kind of
But
like
you
a
liked the
it was a what do you call the people that like run around on buildings and like do backflips and then jump over
parkour.
rails. It's kind of like that's kind of the basis is a parkour movie, but they did it legit. It's believable. Like these guys are just I think the two
Sounds sick.
guys are like famous parkour guys or something like that. I don't know, but
You liked the Parasite. Did your girlfriend like it?
yeah, she loved it. She thought it was incredibly good.
I gotta watch it again someday.
I did call.
Fuck.
I mean, it was an easy call, but she argued with me. I'm going to try to word this so it's not giving away anything, but at the end where where the older gentleman goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
called it right off the bat. I'm like, oh, and she's like, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. And I'm like, guaranteed. That is exactly what's going on right now.
So crazy. And I kind of didn't understand the ending. I needed Chris to explain it to me a little bit, but I was like, I still loved the fucking movie.
when we
great.
get off the show, remind me because we do gotta talk about the end of that movie because it is weird how it wraps up. It kind of leaves it leaves speculation for what's actually.
Yeah, I just didn't really understand the party, the thing that happened at the party. But do you want to take a break and wait for our guest?
Yeah, rock and roll. We'll be back in just a second, guys.
All right, we are back with our guest for the week, personality expert, best-selling and award-winning author, Merrick Rosenberg. How's it going?
I'm doing great.
So are you in Jersey right now?
I am in New Jersey, just outside of Philadelphia.
How's it going? How's it going there? I mean, is it just complete craziness, or is it life is normal?
Definitely getting better. I mean, it's been a ride, of course, but look, the numbers are moving in a good direction, and things are starting to open,
Right.
so can't complain.
Right, that's good to hear. So I mean, the first question I have written down is these personality styles that you sort of have the ideas of for eagles, parrots, doves, and owls, and which you have behind you on the wall, which is awesome. I mean, can we start with that, kind of breaking that down?
Sure, let's do it. So
Yeah.
there's 4 core personality types. You're not just one of them, you're a little bit of everything, but everybody's got 1 or 2 that are like home base for you. So picture the eagle. So like, what do you think? When you think if a person had the traits of an eagle, the characteristics of an eagle, what do you think they would be like?
Strong.
I mean,
leader.
I feel like they're like the head of the group, like the leader.
Right, exactly. It's like you get it. This confident, strong, take charge, assertive. Now picture you see this parrot behind me. When you think of a parrot, totally different energy. What comes to mind?
Playful, talkative,
You
easy
get
going.
Yeah, they're fun, they're optimistic, they're energetic, they're enthusiastic, they're playful, they're group oriented. How about you can see this dove behind me. When you think of the dove, what comes to mind for the dove?
Calm, patient, pretty,
sensitive, maybe.
Yeah, harmonious, calm, relaxed, good listeners. They're there for you. They're harmonious. They just want everybody to get along. And the last one is the owl. What do you think of?
wise, maybe grumpy, wise.
Right. Well, definitely wise is funny. Definitely wise, because we think of every cartoon owl that's ever been drawn is pictured as wise, and they're just thoughtful. They're detail oriented. If they're going to do something, they're going to do it right. They have a process and a plan. So you get it. You got these confident eagles and fun social parrots and harmonious doves and logical and analytical owls. So that's the 4.
That makes sense.
But people aren't just one. You kind of embody multiple.
Absolutely. My style, I'm a parrot with some secondary eagle style thrown in there. You could be a mix of them. Most people have 1 or 2 which are really strong for them.
Right, that they identify with. So, and then don't you also help people use their personality to advance in their career? So I'm curious. Yeah. I'm curious about that.
That's the key. I think the challenge that a lot of people have, whether you're a manager or you're working in an organization and you're kind of that frontline worker, what we end up doing is we impose our personality on others. So if I'm an owl and I'm giving information to you, I probably am giving you a lot of information, but you might not want a lot of information. You're an eagle and you're like, bottom line me, tell me what I need to know. Be brief, be brilliant, be gone, get out of here. Tell me what I want. And meanwhile, I'm an owl giving you every single bit of information. And so when we work with people and organizations, what I want people to understand is you have to honor who they are instead of trying to communicate to them the way you would want it. You've got to treat them the way they want to be treated.
So
I see.
I'm a little more novice on Brad's done a little bit more research on you than I have, so I'm more of just this is kind of coming at me new, done very little. Is what you're saying, this style, what you're getting at is more about like figuring who the other people are, like that you're working with, or figuring who you are? Or is it just a 50-50 of both?
It's really both. You have to first understand yourself, so that you understand, okay, here are my needs, because if you don't understand yourself, then you're just going to impose your style on other people. But you also have to be able to read people quickly. And so, but I'll show you, you've known the styles for 2 minutes. If I were to say somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger, what comes to mind? Which of these four birds?
An eagle?
The eagle.
Right, exactly. How about a Robin Williams?
The parrot.
The parrot.
Definitely. Somebody like maybe a Mother Teresa. What do you think?
The dove.
The dove.
Yeah, maybe Bill Gates.
The
Yeah.
owl.
See, check this out. You've known the birds for 2 minutes and you're already like, I got it. And that's the power of the four birds, is once you understand them, you can meet people, shake their hand and be like, all right, I got it. And think of that, if you're a salesperson, you know how to connect to someone. If you're a manager, you know how to connect to somebody. Your spouse, our kids. It
Right.
plays out in everything, because our personality plays out everywhere we go.
So then you use that to your advantage, because you're approaching your manager or coworker and you give them what they need for their personality.
Exactly. And the beauty is, it's not just to your advantage, because look, when they get their needs met, you get your needs met.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is,
Right.
they get their needs met too. And if you treat people the way they want to be treated, you both end up in the end building a stronger relationship, getting the results you want, selling the customer, closing the deal, whatever it is. If you can read people, you can build stronger relationships.
How do you diagnose yourself?
Look, you can absolutely, one of the things you can do is take an assessment. So there's a profile that people can take. In fact, I'll give you, I'll share this with your listeners and your viewers here. If they text a short code, there's the short code of 33777. So like, that's the phone number. Text the word personality wins, all one word. So don't put a space. Personality wins to 33777. You can actually take a little mini profile and figure out which bird you are.
Nice.
Do you think most people know right off the bat? They're just like, oh, I'm that. And are they right? Or are most, because to me, I'm kind of looking at myself like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm leaning this way,
Sure.
maybe I'm leaning this way. Are most people like that? Or do they just like, nope, I'm
Well,
an eagle?
you can have two styles, and that's maybe part of the debate, but most people are pretty self-aware. The funny thing is, people are incredibly self-aware of their style. Like, they look at this and go, yeah, I'm a parrot, I'm an eagle, I'm a dove. They are incredibly not self-aware in terms of how effective they are. One of the funny things I do when I'm speaking to a crowd, I even show them this. I say, all right, raise your hand if you think you are in the top 25th percentile of performers in your company. So if you were ranked top performer down to the bottom poor performer, raise your hand if you think you're in the top 25th percentile. How many hands do you think go up?
Most of them.
Yeah, pretty much everyone. Yeah. And it's like, okay, either I have only met the top 25th percentile of performers, or people are very out of touch with how effective they are. So it is pretty funny. They're pretty self-aware in terms of their personality, not very self-aware in terms of their performance.
Okay.
How much? Okay, so we'll shift away. How much does someone's personality matter in a presidential election?
So this is where it gets really interesting. I've worked with more than half the Fortune 100 companies. I've worked with probably 1,000 CEOs in my career. And I started to look at, I wonder if the presidential candidates, if style plays out, does it really matter? And the first thing I was looking at was, is there one style that we think of as the leader? Like, if I were to say to you, okay, gut impulse, what is the leader style? What comes to mind?
The eagle.
The eagle.
Exactly. We think of the eagle. So is that true in terms of presidents? Actually, yeah, there's been some eagles, but quite frankly, there have been a lot of other people with different styles. You got Carter, who's a dove, George H.W. Bush, who's an owl, Bill Clinton, JFK, Ronald Reagan, who are all parrots. There's really a good mix. And what I realized was that this big energy of the eagle and the parrot style in a presidential election, that beats the dove and the owl. And it beats them every time. Since 1932, 22 straight elections, eagles and parrots have beaten doves and owls. The only time doves and owls win is if they're going against another dove or owl.
Why is there some, why do you think that is?
I think there's something around this idea that big energy on a big stage, and there's no bigger stage than a presidential election, It
Right.
just, it wins. If you think of somebody like a Reagan or a Bill Clinton or a JFK, they just had charisma. Even go back to like someone like an FDR, they just had this intensity. And then you compare them to the candidates that they went against, like a Jimmy Carter was a dove. Okay, he won going against Ford, who was also a dove. But then comes Reagan with this big smile and this rock star energy, and it wins. Reagan wins. Same thing happens. George H.W. Bush. Okay, he's an owl. He went against Dukakis, another owl. An owl's going to win that election. But then here comes Bill Clinton playing the saxophone and wearing his Wayfarer sunglasses, playing Heartbreak Hotel on the Arsenio Hall show, and it's kind of game over for an owl. There's something
Right.
about the charisma and energy on this big stage of running for president that, as Americans, we tend to like. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it is a reality.
Huh.
Right.
That's interesting to think
Um.
about.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, so do you think that's what happened 4 years ago?
Absolutely. Look, every
Yeah.
election, every poll in that election was saying that Hillary's going to win. And all through
Right.
that entire process, I had many
Yeah.
podcasts and interviews, and I said, I'm telling you, eagles beat owls. And Trump obviously is the eagle, and Hillary Clinton the owl. And I'm like, I'm just telling you, an owl has not beaten an eagle since before 1932. And so
Right.
I'm going with Trump is going to win that election. And we can see what happened. His big energy won the day. I mean, there was a time where he even turned to her in one of the debates, and he looked at her, and she had shared a ton of statistics, and he looked at her, and he had criticized her for that, and she was like, it was like cognitive dissonance. She was like, "Are you criticizing me for being prepared? Like what?" How are you criticizing me for preparing for this debate? But
Right.
yet the Eagles like, yeah, statistics, whatever. Big
Yeah.
picture
Right.
energy, big energy at a rally, like a Bernie rally or a Trump rally. They just bring the energy and it creates energy.
Hmm. What do you think? What
Right.
do you think
And
Biden is?
people.
Where does he fall in? Is he an owl?
Yeah.
Biden throughout his whole career has been the parrot. It's why he makes so many gaffes, so many speaking errors while he's talking, because parrots, it's almost like they're their speech center in their brain turns on before the logic center of their brain. And
Uh-huh.
they
Uh-huh.
say something and they're like, did I say that out loud?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then he has to walk it back like, oops, didn't mean to say that. He's just done that his whole career. I think what's interesting though is he's a parrot with a secondary dove, but he's running a dove campaign.
That makes
And
sense.
so he's focusing on empathy. If you watch the Democratic convention, I mean, it was so much based on empathy and what a nice guy he is and what a
Uh-huh.
caring
Uh-huh.
guy he is, what a likable guy he is. They're focusing on his dove. In any other year, I would say, what are you doing? Doves do not beat eagles. This
Yeah.
is the death blow for presidential candidates. But I think they want to contrast an
Yeah.
eagle who's cranked that dial up a lot. And when you dial up the energy of any style, it goes to an extreme and your strength becomes your weakness. And
Mm-hmm.
dial up assertiveness and it's aggressive. Dial up his Trump's directness and it becomes blunt and sensitive. So I think they're just saying, hey, we want to be seen as not the eagle, as somebody with
Right.
empathy and
Mm-hmm.
caring. So an interesting strategy. In any other year, I would have been like, oh, don't go for the dove strategy. Dial up your parrot energy. Parrots and eagles are a toss up, but it's interesting to see it playing out.
And so it was Obama an eagle as well, or
Obama was a fascinating style. When I traveled
yeah.
the country, I've spoken at events in 47 states. And throughout the Obama years, I would always say, what style do you think he is? And there was no consensus. Some people were like
Yeah.
eagle, parrot, dove, owl. He's really what I think of as the chameleon. He had this ability to flex and adapt. Bill Clinton did that. Ronald Reagan did that. They would just flex to what's happening in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think his style is really the eagle and dove. Who's always very
Yeah.
competitive. You watch him playing golf and he wants to kick your butt. But he
Yeah.
also had tears streaming down his face when the children were killed in Newtown. And so, what other president have you ever seen do that? And that's where you see
Right.
his dove. And so it's very interesting. He had that style, that combination of eagle and dove is less than 1% of the population.
Do you
Yeah. That's
like I guess you kind of answered it there a second ago, but is do you think this pretty much applies across the board 100% of people, or are there a lot of chameleons, a lot of people that are really hard to pin? where they are
No,
in
I
that.
think there are very few chameleons, actually. There are very few people who have the ability to be flexible and adaptable to everyone they meet. You take somebody like Oprah is a great example. You see her eagle in her business, the empire she created, her parrot on
Yeah,
stage. You
that's
get a car, you get a car,
a
the
great per.
charisma.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
her, I'd be
And
like, I don't know. You know what I mean? She
you
goes
don't
from
even
the.
know. You could see her owl as an interviewer, a very good
Mm-hmm.
questioner. That's an owl skill set, asking questions. As a dove, the charity work, the philanthropy, the empathy, crying with her guests. Why was she so immensely popular? Because she displayed all four styles.
Yeah,
And think about this. Who do you appeal to when you display all four styles?
everybody.
Everybody.
Yep.
Everyone. Her show is a slot killer.
Do
I
you
mean, it
think?
killed that time slot for more than a decade.
Oh yeah.
I mean, who would want to be up against Oprah show? It's like the Super Bowl. The only you don't put
Yeah.
anything new up against the Super Bowl. Maybe the Puppy Bowl. That's about it. Besides that, it kills this time slot. Oprah killed a time slot for more than a decade, and I think it's because she had that universal appeal. She's the chameleon, and you don't find a lot of them, but when you do, it is impressive.
Is it? Do you think most people that are chameleons just naturally, rise to the top just because they can
I
do
do.
that?
There's something about them, and people will say that. You look at someone like Obama when he was young. It was amazing how many people said you felt like you were in the presence of a future president of the United
I've
States,
heard
and they
that
said that
before.
when he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
I remember watching Obama at the Democratic convention. Uh, John Kerry had gone to Chicago, met him. He was running for Congress at the time, and John Kerry was like, "Who is this guy with this funky name, Barack Obama? Like, who is he?" And he just was so impressed by him. He asked Obama to travel around with him as he toured around Illinois. He was so impressed with him. After that day, he said, "You're doing the keynote at the Democratic National Convention. You're my guy." And I remember watching Obama that night, and my wife reminds me of this. I turned to her and I said, "There will be a day where he will be the president of the United States."
Hmm.
And
Right.
and everyone who met him, there were so many teachers in middle school and elementary school that said the same thing. When you meet a chameleon, there is something powerful about them. And I'll go back in time. Look at the last election. You have Donald Trump. He is all eagle all the time. You have
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton, all owl all the time. Do you see the problem?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have that ability to flex and adapt, you get stuck in your style and you do not have universal appeal.
Yeah.
They didn't
Right.
connect with people. They connected with their followers, but they didn't have a universal appeal. And it was the most polarizing election we've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. You could see her
Right.
try to eagle sometimes, and it just really didn't work in her favor at all. Like it really
It, it didn't.
hurt her a lot more than it helped.
And she tried to be the dove, but she staffed her weakness. So she hires Tim Kaine, who's more of a dove parrot. He shows
Mm-hmm.
up, brings his harmonica, jams with a band in a bar, and then he's off. People always just talked about how likable he is. Yeah, because she wanted to get somebody very likable. Same thing happened with Trump. He staffed his weakness. He's very big picture and just more bombastic, big personality. He gets Pence, who's a more measured, owl dove, soft spoken, shares more details. He was trying to balance out the ticket. This is what people do. Bill Clinton parrot gets owl Al Gore. I mean, you can see it all the way through. Reagan parrot gets owl George H.W. Bush. I mean, we balance out our personalities is maybe more than trying to figure out what state they're from and will I win that state or a demographic. Personality wins. It's the name of my book. It's the name of what happens in presidential elections. They're just one big personality contest.
Right. And so as voters, we're drawn one way or the other. But and you say that we think we're voting for policy when we're actually voting for personality, or is it like a 50-50 split? Because I feel with me, I'm kind of only voting on personality, and people will be like, well, they did this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, well, I kind of liked him, or, I didn't like him anyway, stuff like that. I feel like I almost just go off personality. But I guess with some other people, it's more of a
Yeah,
subconscious thing that they're doing.
absolutely. And look, in presidential elections, there's about a third of the voters who are going to only vote Democratic. It doesn't matter who the candidate is. There's a
Right.
third of the voters who are only going to vote for a Republican. Doesn't matter who the candidate is. But let's face it, that middle third are those swing voters. And when they
Right.
vote, they are tuning into personality. I'll give you an example. You look at somebody like an Elizabeth Warren, very owl style, very detailed, sharing data. She even was selling shirts that says Warren had a plan for that. Well, plans don't excite people. And so,
Right.
so here's the thing. If you would have had somebody like an Elizabeth Warren, and you would have taken, remember there's these websites out there where you can take a survey and then it tells you what candidate you're most closely aligned to. During the primaries, they were pretty cool. There's one called isidewith.com where you can go in there and you would answer like 50 questions, and then it would say you're 93% aligned with this candidate, 90% here, 70, 20% with this candidate. If you had somebody like an Elizabeth Warren and you just said, I just don't like her, I don't know what it is, I just don't like her, and you were 99% aligned with her, and there was someone else that you were 75% aligned with, but you loved that person, I'll bet you would vote for the 75% alignment than the 95 that you loved. And that's the thing, is we don't even know how to put words to it. We're just like, I just like that person, or I just don't like them. And what are you tuning into? You're tuning into personality, and that's what people are voting for.
That's so true.
Do you think the same goes for like friend groups? Do people tend to surround themselves with the same, all owls, all doves, all eagles?
Not necessarily. No, in fact, I'll give you an interesting study. I'll put my owl hat on and give you some data. Recent study, 86% of people marry their personality opposite. Eagles and doves tend to get married most often. Parrots and owls tend to get married most often. I'd say happily married. They just happen to get married. That's a whole, we could have a long conversation about that. But it's true that it's almost like we look at them, and the fact that they're so different, we're sometimes drawn to friends who are totally different from us, because we're drawn to the fact that, wow, I wouldn't do that, but I love that they do this, or you hear this, like they're yin and yang, or they complete me, or they're my other half. And a lot of times it's the person who's completely different is the person we're drawn to, not the person who's exactly similar.
But then with the presidential stuff, it's more like when we want a leader, we want him to be like us. Is that the idea? Like, let's say.
No, I think that's true if you're more of the eagle parrot. I don't think it's about them being like us. I think it's about them having charisma and passion and energy.
Okay.
I mean, you look at somebody like George H.W. Bush, and he kept saying, I'm not good with the whole vision thing. Yeah, well, you know who was good with the whole vision thing? Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton didn't share any statistics and data, although he did share some, but he was more big picture and inspirational. And George H.W. Bush is sharing all the statistics and data, and data just doesn't win. I mean, dreams win, plans don't win. I mean, if you picture Martin Luther King Jr., we still remember the I had a dream speech. Well, if it was an I had a plan speech, we probably still wouldn't be talking about it. People don't care about plans. They care about big picture. What do you see? They want to be inspired. And that's what wins.
So for a couple of months from now, if you had to sort of see what was going to happen, you would say the dove is not gonna make it.
In usual times, I would say this is a losing strategy, going all in on dove energy. In this time, who knows? I think Trump breaks every model that exists, and he may just break this one. I think that the fact that he overuses his strengths. When you overuse a strength, it's like your greatest asset becomes your greatest liability. When you're an eagle and you have confidence, but you dial up confidence, you get arrogance. And when you dial up arrogance, you get narcissism. And when you're narcissistic, it pushes people's buttons. And when you're direct, people respect that. But when you're too direct, you're blunt and insensitive, and you offend people. And I think Trump is so overusing his style that I believe that actually Biden is going to win. And in fact, there was this fascinating interview. He was talking to Chris Wallace from Fox News, and he had said to him, Chris Wallace was talking about Dr. Fauci's popularity. Fauci obviously an owl, always sharing data and best practices, how to keep yourself safe. And so he said, how do you explain that? And Trump says, the only way I can explain that is there's just something in my personality that people don't like. And I thought that is a moment of clarity and self-awareness that Trump had.
Yeah.
In fact, Ivanka said it in her speech to close out the convention, in her speech before her father came on, and she said it. She said, look, you may not like the way he tweets, you may not like his communication style. And what she was really saying is, you may not like his personality.
Right.
And I think that his personality got him elected in 2016, but I think his personality perhaps will be his undoing in 2020.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, do you want to plug anything, anywhere people can go?
Sure. If you, once again, if you want to take the profile, text personality wins, all one word, to 33777. Check out Personality Wins. It's called Personality Wins, Who Will Take the White House and How We Know. And I go back to 1922 and I walk you through election by election and show you how personality wins elections. And in the corporate world, if you'd like to learn more about training and development, learning about the birds, go to takeflightlearning.com and you can discover how we teach people how to learn about themselves and step in the power of their personality.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. This was really informative and educational and interesting. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you both, Eric and Brad. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It was great meeting you.
Thanks, Merrick.
Awesome. Have a good day.
Yep, thank you. You too. Have a great one.
Bye.
All right, we're back. Dude, that was pretty cool. That was interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Merrick.
Merrick, yeah. That's awesome.
That was great. That was fun.
A lot of it made a lot of sense, you know? I mean, I don't think I was awake enough for everything that just happened.
You did good, though. You're a great interviewer. I'm bad because I don't have like questions lined up. If I spend too much time thinking about a question, I won't even listen to what they're saying. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to think of a rebuttal, and then I find myself at the end of a segment or at an end of a speech they're giving, I just like, shit, I didn't even listen to what you just said. You know what I mean? And then everything crumbles apart. And then I'm like, fuck. Now if I say what I was thinking about, it's not even relative to what they were just talking about, and it's not even going to be like a fluid conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think I go 50-50 with that. Half the time I'm referencing a written down question, the other half I just think of something in the moment, you know.
For people listening,
I'm not a good interviewer.
For people listening, there was a slight, we stopped recording and there was a slight little segment there at the end, so you're not going to have heard any of it. But the guy said that he thought I was an owl. Do you think I'm an owl? I don't think I'm an owl.
You're definitely some owl.
Some owl? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I picture parrot.
Yeah, you listen to audiobooks.
Okay.
Yeah, owl parrot.
Owl parrot.
That makes sense.
Okay. But you say I'm more owl than parrot? Is it, maybe it's just because I love alcohol. I'm thinking I'm a parrot, just like, hey, just having fun.
Right.
But maybe when I'm sober, I'm not that person at all. And
well, and I think you like dumb, goofy TV shows and movies and shit.
Which is parrot.
Yeah, I would think so. I don't know. I just see the parrot as like clowny.
And you don't think I'm clowny?
Like, I don't know. No, yeah, you like dumb, goofy shows that nonsense.
Email us. What do you guys think? What do you guys think we are? Because I don't know.
I feel like I'm everything except eagle.
I think you're the owl.
Well, there's dove. I'm part dove too.
I get owl. I get 100% owl. That's what I think.
Owl.
That's just what I think.
Whatever bird has anxiety and depression and nervousness. That's the bird I am. But I think I'm very drawn to eagles.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I got more to think about. But you guys should email us and tell us what you think. we are? Because I'd be interested to hear.
I had
Like,
an old I had an old boss that would, when he would kind of talk about other businesses or whatever, or like groups of people, there's a few times when he would just say, there's just too many alpha males, and it didn't work. And I would think about that sometime and be like, yeah, like if there's too many alpha males in a group, a lot of times it doesn't fucking work out. A lot of times it works better when there's one sort
yeah,
of alpha male eagle, and other people can just be loyal and do their jobs.
yeah. This may not be
So I don't
politically
know, but I
correct.
feel like,
May not be politically correct. We say it all the time, but there's too many chiefs here and not enough Indians. You know what I mean? And that doesn't work when
right.
you got a bunch of people. Now do it this way, do it this way, do it this way, and then nothing gets done, and everyone's just mad.
I should have I should have asked him an example of a woman that's an eagle. I guess maybe he might have said the Oprah thing,
Yeah.
because it's hard for me to kind of think of a lot of them.
I think
Maybe
I
I don't know.
mean I don't want to yeah whatever I dig myself into all kinds of holes, but I think probably across the board women just don't. It's more of a manly trait. I mean there obviously can be a woman eagle, but women are
Right,
nurturers. You know what I mean? By nature, that's what they are. They take care of family, take care of stuff.
right,
Like they're always gonna tend to be more
right.
dove owl. That's what they. I can't I
Yeah,
can't really
that's
think of
true.
one
I know.
other than Oprah, but I think he's kind of right with the Oprah thing. She really you can't pin I because like if I you just say Oprah and I just imagine it in my head, I kind of imagine a parrot, but then I can easily imagine an eagle. You know what I mean? And then I can also
Yeah,
easily imagine an
yeah,
owl. Easily. You know what I mean? I just have like multiple pictures of her like either being real serious, but then I also have pictures of her being woo! You know what I mean? Being all crazy.
yeah, yeah. It's all this bird talk is tripping me out, but it kind of fucking kind of leads into some other stuff. All right. Well, the Boy Scouts, the
Okay.
Boy Scouts of America.
Okay.
Let's see.
I don't know
What
where you're
what
going
do
with
we
this.
have to say? What do we have to say about this shitty fucking business? Well,
Were you,
shitty
were
but
you a
successful.
Boy Scout?
So okay, we'll start with that. I was a Cub Scout
Yeah,
a
I was a
long
Cub
time
Scout too.
ago, and it was which is like the Cub Scouts, I guess, are like before you're a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
But I think I only did it for like a summer, and then I quit. And my parents didn't want me to quit, but I was like, I'm quitting because I hated the uniforms. I hated that you had to tuck your shirt in to your pants, and I was like, I would keep doing this if I didn't have to wear this uniform, and I just hated the uniform, so I quit after about a summer. But then also it was right around the time that I started developing allergies, like serious allergies. So I went on a camping trip once with the Cub Scouts, and my allergies were so bad that I had to leave, and I couldn't hang out the whole weekend. So I was just like, this is just stupid, and I want to quit, and I quit after a couple of months.
Aw. Okay. Let's
But it's a
so where we
um
going at?
so um on November 16th, that is when the deadline is for former Boy Scouts to get compensation for sexual abuse claims. After November 16th, you're done. So if anybody out there needs to make a claim, your deadline is November 16th, and that's it. It's just kind of interesting. The Boy Scouts organization's 110 years old. Neil Armstrong, Martin Luther King Jr., and 4 different presidents have been Boy Scouts. Kind of badass that I think that Neil Armstrong was. And in their history of their organization, they've had 12,000 sexual abuse cases. Hey, how's your fucking shitty organization?
Huh.
But February they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So that doesn't mean they're broke. It's just like a restructuring of money. in that claim, they estimated that they have $10 billion worth of assets and $1 billion in liabilities. So usually when you file bankruptcy, you're saying that you have more debt than assets. This is not the case for the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts have $10 billion of value. They're just basically doing this, and in this filing of bankruptcy, they're kind of doing it to stop all these claims because they feel like these claims are just going to get out of control. Because I guess statistically, a lot of people don't come after their abuser until they're in their early 40s. So they're like, we're gonna file bankruptcy, say that we have, or like, and they've put a trust of money aside, like a set amount, and being like, all this money we're putting in this account is gonna be for the claims that are made. They get all that money, and then after November 16th, 2020, no more claims can be made. Which is kind of wild because there's claims that are as recent as 2018. So say something happened to a kid last year, he has until fucking November 16th, and then he can't go back again. Which is, it's just kind of a bunch of crazy shit.
That's crazy talk. I didn't know you could do that. Huh.
Well, and apparently this is a very similar thing to what the Catholic Church has done. They've already done this. They put the money in an account, they had the date set, said make your claims, and then after that you can't go back again. Which doesn't mean that, say something, this claim shit ends November 16th, 2020. Say something happens next year, you can proceed as normal, but you can't just go back behind November 16th, 2020, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. That's crazy. That's absolute crazy talk. Huh, has this been like in the news hardcore lately, or I haven't heard anything about this?
Yeah, but kind of underground news. So just some things. Even if the Boy Scouts succeed in curtailing future abuse claims, the organization still faces a financially precarious future. Over the years, the number of children participating in Boy Scouts scouting programs have shrunk to 2.2 million, or half of what it was in 1990. Efforts to expand the Boy Scouts ranks by admitting gay and transgender scouts, as well as girls, have only been mildly successful. While the Boy Scouts opened its Cub Scout program to girls in 2018, only 77,000 joined. Only 77,000 joined. Meanwhile, this year, the Mormon Church, which for decades has been one of the Boy Scouts' largest sponsored, pulled 400,000 kids out of scouting because of that decision to admit gay troop members. So they made the decision to admit gay Cub Scouts, and they got 77,000. Well, they got 77,000 girls, but then the Mormon Church pulled 400,000 kids. Without its Mormon members, the Boy Scouts membership is expected to soon decline below 2 million for the first time since World War II. Membership fees and other dues are a primary source of revenue, so unless the Boy Scouts come up with a way to reverse its membership decline, it faces years of dwindling resources.
Yeah, the Mormons are big on scouts. It was a very big deal. That's how I got involved, was the Mormon stuff. And then you'd see it, like when you're in the Mormon church, you'd see it a lot. Like the Boy Scout, like older members of the Boy Scouts would like do flag stuff, go like marching through the little deal and like set flags up in the basketball courts and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. Mormons, yeah, they don't play that shit, B. They don't play that shit at all.
Right.
They're not into chicks with dicks.
Well,
not into it at all.
Your organization is fucked.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Boy Scouts. You had a good run. You had a great run. Problem was, you had 12,000 kids that were molested. That's where you slipped up.
Yeah.
Everything else would have been fine.
Isn't it crazy?
And now
it blows my mind, like, that shit's happening so much. You know what I mean? Like 12,000? That's bananas. Like, what is, I don't know. That's just, it's crazy talk. How is this happening? you just meet so many people day to day to day, and it's like, how many fucking people are just
Yeah.
fucking creeps? You know what I mean? I get the feeling about people all the time, but you know that there's still a percentage of people you know what I mean, in your life that
Yeah.
have a side to them that it's like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, are your neighbors. I don't even want to like look
I don't
up
even,
the pedophile page because it's just gonna fuck with my head. You know what I mean? Like, I live in an apartment complex. I've talked about it a few times, and I still haven't
yeah.
done it because I'm like, I don't even want to know. You know what I mean? Because if I know, then it's gonna get weird. You know what I mean? Then it's gonna get real fucking. I just like to live in this bubble where that shit doesn't happen.
Right.
I don't. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I don't even think about that. It's weird to say like, there you just know that there's a bunch of that going on out there, but then when you think about the people I don't even think about the people I know. Like statistically, do I know someone? I don't know.
Or at least we went
You
to
know,
high school. You
I,
know what I mean? You know someone, maybe not personally, like in your friend group. You know of someone that's like, oh, what? You know what I mean?
right.
Nah, it's so fucking.
I mean, and I was reading stuff about the Boy Scouts where it was like there was one guy in Indiana who in like the 70s got convicted of sexual abuse of one of the Boy Scouts who was like a troop leader. So the Boy Scouts then he did his time or whatever. So the Boy Scouts then moved him to Oregon. And then 10 years later, when he was a troop leader again in a different state, it happened again. So that's kind of the Catholic Church shit that the Catholic Church pulled with priests. So when the Boy Scouts did that as well, then it's like now you have to pay out. Now you have to pay out the claims because you handled it wrong. You handled it completely wrong.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's what happened with the Catholic Church. Fucking crazy,
That
weird
it really
organizations.
sucks because for I don't see. I like the Boy Scouts. You know what I mean? I think it's a cool idea. It sucks that, and the people that had the original
Yeah,
idea and stuff, and the people that, there's obviously a lot of like really good people that are super involved in that. Really sucks for them. And the same with the Catholic Church. You know what I mean?
right.
There's a lot of like really good priests out there that like have this idea, want to help kids. You know what I mean? Are into it, and then now they're just tied in with this completely fucked thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that sucks. That sucks for the Boy Scouts.
they ruined it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and in the article, it was like the term Boy Scouts always used to describe someone who's like, you know, an honest guy who's like a take charge kind of guy. People are always like, oh yeah, he's a fucking Boy Scout kind of thing.
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Get your claims in by November 16th. Get that money. Get that fucking
Get that
payday.
money. Um, dude, I listening to this other podcast. I don't know if you listen to Two Bears or whatever, but they've been on this stint for a little bit, and it trips me up, and then it reminds me of something else I've asked people throughout my life. But Tom Segura's
2 bears, 1 cup.
no, Two Bears, One Cave. Uh, Tom Segura and
Okay.
Bert Kreischer have been on this argument for a while now, and I'm getting heated listening to it because Tom Segura is trying to make Bert Kreischer out to be this like POS, and I'm listening to it like, you're wrong. You are 100% wrong. So, what's when you wake up in the morning? When do you brush your teeth? Like, walk me through how many steps before you brush your teeth.
Oh my god.
Is this too much?
Dude,
Is this too much curtain
what are you
pulling back?
talking about?
Is the curtain too pulled back here?
Yeah.
Come on. Where
Yeah, I only brush at night.
you don't brush? What? Tell me you're joking.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. You.
No, I'm not joking.
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about?
You sleep in that mouth and then wake up and drink coffee or whatever you do, eat breakfast, and then you go like talk to people?
Yeah.
Okay. We have strong disagreements. The morning brush is way more important to me than the night brush. Like, you're going out in public.
Not according to the dentist.
Well, no, it makes sense for
The dentist.
teeth health. Okay, if we're
Right.
arguing about two different things. I'm saying you're going out in public, you're going to be talking to people. I have a massive fear of bad, I do not want to have bad breath around people. That's an absolute no-no. So the morning time brush is way more
Right.
important personally for me. As far as dental hygiene, yes, it makes sense that you need to brush before you go to bed
Right.
because you're just mouth closed and that shit's just stewing all night long inside your mouth.
Yeah, the dentist says if you're gonna do it once, then do it at night, not the morning. You
Okay.
know.
Okay. Uh, uh, now you've railroaded me off the whole thing.
I know. I knew as soon as you asked that, I knew I was gonna railroad it.
Oh
I should have lied.
no! Yeah, you should have
I should.
lied. But then, oh man, because they've been. Oh man, Tom Segura would hate you. But he says he's making fun of Bert Kreischer. You're not even. You're checked out of this conversation now. Now I'm just having a
Right.
pointless conversation with myself. He
Yeah.
he's giving Bert shit because he wakes up in the morning, he gets his breakfast, he drinks his coffee, and will like sometimes even work out and then brush his teeth and then leave the house. And Tom Segura is saying that's disgusting, and he brushes his teeth like right after he takes a pee, like it's first thing in the morning. Like, got to get that taste out of your mouth. And I think
Wait. What does Bert do? What does Bert
Bert
do?
does his whole morning routine, eats, drinks coffee, does
Okay.
everything, then brushes his teeth, and then goes about his day. And I totally
Okay.
agree with that. That's what I'm all about. I do as much stuff as I can before brushing my teeth is the last thing I do before I leave my house, like in the AM. It's get I will drink coffee afterwards, but there's no choice. You know what I mean? It's like I got to have my coffee as I'm driving in the car. So yes, coffee is going to be after that, but I'm eating cereal or eating breakfast before I brush my teeth because that's gross. If I leave the house and there's like things stuck in my teeth, like food stuck in my teeth, or like when you eat
Yeah.
cereal and it's all like crammed up, you can't, you gotta like
Yeah.
dig out those little circles like in your teeth.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tom Segura is saying that's what he does. He brushes and then eats breakfast and then leaves the house. That's so foul to me. That's gross. You're just gonna be breathing your breakfast and your milk on people all day long. You're
Okay. Well, yeah, I can be a disgusting pig, but don't you just breathe cigarette
I
breath on
no, and
people all day long?
okay, I don't. Well, okay, totally, but I don't smoke a cigarette until noon at least, and a lot of times I won't smoke a cigarette until I get home. I'm a weird smoker.
Oh,
I smoke when I drink, then my cigarette consumption skyrockets.
right.
I cannot smoke in the mornings. It makes me want to throw up. It's too much on my
Okay.
throat. Like I just hate it. I will chew during the daytime. That's like my usually my go-to for work is I chew during
Jesus.
work and then smoke when I get home and start drinking because I can't chew and drink at the same time. That's disgusting to me.
Right.
But yes, I do not like that I smell like cigarettes. It isn't enjoyable for me. I'm addicted to it.
Right.
If I could not smell like that, I would do whatever it takes. But I'm addicted to cigarettes. Okay, then we're obviously not going anywhere with this argument. This is a dead. But I
Yeah.
know everyone that listens to us is going to take my side, obviously. And if you don't, Jesus fuck. But here's the next question: is when you brush your teeth, do you use hot water or do you use cold water?
Um, cold.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you
Yeah.
people? Now this one I know a lot. I know a. Whoa, that was weird. I could hear myself. I had a crazy echo right there. I've talked to a lot of people about this, and most people use cold water. I don't understand that. Like you wash your car with hot water, or try to. You do your dishes with hot water. You clean things with hot water.
Right.
It gets grime off of things better.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this till like 18 or 19. I don't know. I saw someone like brush their teeth and they just boop boop, and start brushing. It's like you don't let the water get hot. You don't like. I rinse my mouth off with hot water before I even start brushing. Swish it around, spit that out a few times, get the brush all hot, then brush, and then when I spit, then when I start taking water to spit everything out, it's all hot water. Everything's hot. It's all hot.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, you shower with hot water.
Yeah, you shower with hot water. Exactly. That gets the grime off more. If I shower in cold a shower, I feel like I haven't cleaned myself. I feel like my pores like close up with gross shit inside them, and then fucking I get out of the
Yeah.
shower and they open back up, and all that crap just comes back out. This is a horrible conversation for you to have. You are not passionate about this at all, but okay.
No.
I'm sure a lot of our guests, they're
Me?
more than 50% of people brush with cold water, and I think it is bananas.
ErickandBradshaw@gmail.com, ErickandBradshaw@gmail.com, or just comment on the YouTube. I mean, I guess I'm not doing it the right way. I'm fucked. I'm fucked up.
You're fucked.
I don't even think about it.
We'll think about it.
I I'm gonna be thinking about it now. Fuck.
Now that it's out to the world, and everyone's gonna be like, you know that Brad guy? Gross.
Well, I don't shower in the morning.
I don't either. But for a construction person, it's fucking pointless.
Yeah.
It's fucking pointless.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go get disgusting
Right.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
And like if I'd have to take I used to take 2 showers a day when I like 18,
Yeah.
19. I'd wake up in the morning, take a shower, and it does feel great to take a shower first thing in the morning. It makes you just great. But then you have to take a shower
Yeah.
when you get home because I'm not sleeping in a bed when I'm covered in
No.
grease and shit. Like that's so gross.
No.
My bed's got to
Yeah.
be clean. Bed's got to be clean. I mean, not like clean sheets every night, but I can't get into my bed covered in sweat. That's so disgusting.
No, even when I come home from work, I'm not like, watching something and having dinner and watching more shit. That's how my evenings go, basically. I'm not doing that until I shower.
Oh yeah, shower's first
Because
thing.
it's
Right in. Right, that's the first thing I
Yeah.
do. I crack a beer usually.
Yeah.
I go to the fridge, crack a beer, and
Uh-huh.
then head to the shower.
Yeah,
Get a podcast set up,
with another beer.
and drink another beer.
Right.
Well, by the time I get from the fridge to the shower, I've already drank a beer, so I need a second beer. So I gotta have a backup beer. I've been thinking about. I
Right.
want to get a beer tap right outside the shower. I think it'd be great. Just like have a little refrigerator with a keg in it, and you just sit there and fucking shower beer it up. You could do fucking shower beers are great. Love shower beers.
Gross. Yeah.
So I have an idea for a company. Maybe this company exists. It probably already exists, and I think you could get down with it.
Okay.
I mean, I need a lot more money. Just a basic idea of this company, you need a lot of money. But I bet this exists. But a company that you just have a bunch of cash, like $1 million, like in cash,
Okay.
like in $10,000 little sleeve, just stacked up cash, and then a bunch of guns, like shitloads of guns, ARs, pistols, blah 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 blah, and then you just charge people to come take pictures and videos with all your shit. You know what I mean? Like it would.
Oh, yeah.
Does that exist? Because if it doesn't, that's a great company. People would be doing it all the time. Guys would be so into
Yeah.
it. Guys love that shit.
Yeah.
Like they love taking pictures of their truck or whatever. Like look how cool, or their gun or what. You know what I mean? That's a guy thing. Just like look how cool my shit is.
Yeah.
You get a stack of $1 million and a bunch of ARs and pistols and Desert Eagles and shit like that. Fucking line out the door. Guys
Yeah.
waiting to put that on their Instagram. Is that not a good idea? Does it exist? It has to exist.
No, I've never heard of it before. I think it's a good idea, though. Because, I mean, once you have it there, it's not like you just be by appointment only. So you don't need like someone sitting there at a desk waiting for people to come in. You can just close shop until someone wants to come.
Yeah, and I've thought it out.
But,
Like,
yeah.
no ammo is allowed. You know what I mean? You can't just be giving people, loaded guns and
Right.
stuff like that. Or you could have, like, if they
Yeah.
want bullets in the picture, you just make sure that the bullet size is different. Like, you have a bunch of ARs and 45 pistols, like, sitting out, and they can do whatever, but maybe then all the bullets are just the wrong caliber bullets. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't even fit in the gun.
Right.
You have a bunch of,
Right.
357 and then a bunch of 7.6, like, scattered out. And it would look close enough, I mean, for a picture. I'm sure some people would pick up
Yeah.
on it.
Dude, and yeah, you need a professional photographer.
Boom, so that's my
You know.
GoFundMe I'm setting up, is so that I can buy a bunch of guns and have a stack of cash.
Yeah, you need about 1.5 million,
Yeah,
maybe
exactly. Yeah, because you got to buy like a warehouse.
something like that. But you need some giant guns. The bigger, the better.
Yeah, you need a like a what are those? The spinny guns, where they like charge up and then what are those called? I don't know what
Huh,
those are
yeah.
called.
I don't know.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger gun
Yeah.
at the end of Alien or whatever that movie was, or Predator, when he's plowing
Maybe
people.
some rocket launchers.
Rocket launchers.
Some shit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Ah,
That's a good idea.
it's dog.
I don't know. I don't got much else.
Okay, a little, I kind of wanted to stay anti-political because I just went all, political last, but, last episode I got a little carried away. Again, apologize for that. But, obviously basketball's shut down again. Sure, everyone's seen that. And now there's a new surge
It'll be okay.
of uh, guns and ammo. I went back to Sportsman's and it's back full-fledged. Everything's flying off the shelf again. After the shooting that
Jesus.
happened. We live in a crazy world, man. It's crazy. I think it's funny to listen to people who have the differing opinions because you talk to some people and way more nervous about the stability of America and our currency and everything like that, and then you talk to a lot of people and they're just like, no, this isn't a big deal at all. Nothing's gonna happen here. This is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find myself leaning on too much is too much just keeps stacking up that something's gonna give. That's my theory. Something's got to give.
Well, yeah. I kind of think that you wouldn't be able to convince me that this is the worst thing that America's gone through. So the fact that I think America's gone through a lot worse times than we are means that everything's going to be okay. But the question is how much of the life that you're used to is going to change. I would think, life as you know it, kind of thing, is going to change somehow. And you might be able to make the argument, okay, America's gone through worse things, but we were more prepared to go through them. Now we're not really prepared to go through them. And I've had this thought kind of since I left high school of the people my age aren't prepared to go through like one of the worst times of the country, if that's what's going to happen. I don't even think it's really that close. I mean, I'd say like the Civil War and World War II were a lot worse than what we're going through.
Yeah, yeah. It's
But
nothing like this has
the
happened
thing is, we
since
might not be. We
the
might.
70s. You know what I mean? Not civil unrest like this. It's been 50 years. You know what I mean? No one in our lifetime, no one close to our age has ever dealt with this. So maybe that is why it's scarier to me. Whereas someone that went through Vietnam might not be as, they've already seen people getting beaten in the streets. You know what I mean? Like they've already seen this all go down. I just, I,
Right.
and sometimes American history or history in general is hard to really wrap your head around. Like the Great Depression, the actual number of people that are out of work, the percentage wasn't that high, but it seemed crazy. In the history books, it was written as insane, and it was insane. Like I don't know what the actual percentage was, but it wasn't like 50% of people were out of work. You know what I mean? It was just a high. It was a lot more than it was a lot more than 5%. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but all you see are pictures of a mother sitting there with all her starving children. You know what I mean? They're only focusing on that. It'd be the same as when everything that's happening right now, like in Portland and L.A. and Minnesota or Wisconsin or whatever. What town is that? Minneapolis? I don't know. Wisconsin.
Yeah.
The history books are going to look back at that, and all you're going to see is the pictures of downtown Portland and downtown LA.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's going to people in 50 years are going to be like, "Man, that's crazy." You know what I mean? Is that really It's hard to wrap your mind around that. Like history is written by the winners and it's also written really focused on what they're talking about, and it's really hard to wrap your head around. Well, there's a lot of other stuff happening and a lot of other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody went to Vietnam. You know what I mean?
Say the Great Depression wasn't like 50% unemployment. Say it was like 18 or something. I don't know how much
I think
it was.
I think it was down in those numbers. I think it was around.
Say it's
I think it was
18%.
around.
18% of America is a shitload of fucking
Yes,
people.
yes,
So that's why you have all those people now camping in shanty towns in a park. It's easy to take pictures of that, and it seems like it's a shitload of people because it is a lot of people, you know. And it's like say the top 5 cities in the country right now are rioting and burning to the ground. It's gonna be easy to take a lot of pictures of that.
yeah,
Especially the fact now we have more video than we can even fucking handle.
yeah, and,
But the Great Depression is a good, like the Civil War, the Great Depression, maybe World War II, all far more worse are all worse than I would say is what's happening right now. But you could make the argument that we're not as prepared to deal with, because the thing about it, since I left high school, like looking at the people my age, it's like these people have only known kind of good
yeah,
times,
yeah,
I guess, other than 9/11. But we were 9 years old, we were 8 years old. That was that much more of that was on the adults of the country.
yeah,
So it's like we're not prepared to handle even a little bit of vibration, even a little bit of having to patch a hole in the fucking tank of your ship.
See, and
We're not
it's
prepared for
hard
that.
to, yeah, things just seem different. It's almost like that's a totally different world when you think about World War II or the civil rights movement. It's
Yeah.
so hard to plug yourself into it, being our age, when everything's been easy. And I mean, I get that
Yeah.
argument and I get that thought process. I can wrap my head around that. And I can wrap my head around, well, then everything's going to be okay. This is just, ebbs and flows. This is normal. You know what I mean? Like, this is that we can
Yeah.
all deal with this. But then another part of me, the real skeptical, pessimistic part of myself, I completely disagree. And the way well, no, it's like I think all these other, civil rights movement, stuff like that, I get why it was done, and I understand like the morality behind it and the justification behind it. Whereas everything nowadays, you're never it's too polarizing and it's too crazy. To me, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy talk. This doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like really every time a black guy gets shot, this is what's going to happen because like to me it's just there's 300 million people or whatever in the country. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anything you want you're going to find it. And then so this is every
Right.
time a black guy gets shot, we're going to burn everything down because this isn't the last time.
Dude, it's
And
so
you can't say 300 million people are racist when one thing happens. You know what I mean? Like
right.
that's like, well, someone in America ate someone. Does that mean 300 million people are cannibals? No. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I,
It's like when something happens, my timeline of friends is like it's always half and half, right? So I see posts of being like, oh, the kid shot a pedophile and a woman beater, so shut the fuck up, it's fine. And then the other half is like, oh, he traveled over to not to protect anything but to shoot people. And it's like literally you could have a case where there's two people standing in the street and one of them calmly shoots the other one and they die, and you're gonna hear half of the narrative this way and half of the
yeah.
narrative that way. And it's like, how are we ever gonna fucking come to the conclusion on anything when it's just half and half? And I'm stuck in the middle, being like, I don't even really give a shit. Just fucking whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
So
I don't know. I have no information.
So to plug that into what we were saying before, do you think it was exactly the same during the civil rights movement or during World War, or I don't think so. I don't, at some points it's just like, oh, it was the same thing. You had half the people just like, oh, that's BS. Half the people like, oh no, I totally agree with that. I think
Yeah.
I think yellow journalism is taking over everything, and there's just narratives being pushed. And
Yeah.
I don't believe that was how it was really during World War II, the Civil Rights Movement, Civil War, anything. I think things were way more clear and cut and dry, and this is the fact, and this is what happened. And now it's
Yeah.
it's it's the country's racist. We're going to push this narrative. So anytime a black person, anything happens to a black person, we're going to push it as hard as we can. And then the other half,
Right.
is just going to push back against that. I, I don't have faith. I do not have faith. I do not have faith because I don't see this just
I,
going away. I think it's just going to snowball and snowball and snowball until like until a civil war breaks out. I foresee that. I don't think it's, and I was talking to a buddy last night, or a liberal friend of mine, and he's like, no, that's stupid. This is all just gonna go away. I don't think so. I don't think so because I don't think so.
No, it's not gonna.
It's gonna get worse.
I'm pretty
It's
optimistic
gonna
about
get worse. I'm way more pessimistic about it. Look, and then you have like, I'm not trying to be super political. Maybe we should stop. But you have one of the most wealthy black men on the planet that's gone from absolute nothing to one of the most famous people on the planet, has some of the biggest bank account on the planet, has everything you could ever ask for. I don't think he's allowed to talk about this, about how unfair America is systemically racist towards black people. It's like, or Oprah. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not allowed to talk about this. You're not. Just because it'd be like, just because I'm white doesn't mean I'm part of that group. He's not part of that group. He has bodyguards. You know what I mean? He's like, I just don't think he should be talking.
Yeah, I got to think about that. I mean, I almost think a lot of these white people shouldn't be
No,
talking.
absolutely.
You
A
know?
lot of people shouldn't be talking. But
Yeah,
like, how can you say that America is racist when literally half of your fan group is white people? You know what I mean? Like, giving you money, like to have
yeah,
your craziest fans ever support you so much. So is your argument that some people are
yeah,
racist? Well, they're always gonna be. Like, what are you after? You know what I mean? Oh,
yeah.
what about how many black people are racist?
I don't.
Is that ever gonna be zero? No, it's not. It's never gonna be zero. Ever. Ever. Japanese people, you're always going to have some Japanese people that are going to hate Chinese people. Always. Or whatever the
Right.
racism or the race is, it's always going to be that way. You're never going to get it zero. We're humans.
Well, yeah. And unfortunately, all the shit that's kind of a part of the whole movement, I don't know if it's really helping. I don't know if not playing basketball or football really helps defeat racism. But I can see both sides of it. Um, you know.
I'm
And the thing is, like in a small town, in small towns right now across America, nothing's changed at all.
yeah,
That's the thing.
but it's on the news.
And it's like I don't know. But it's on the news. It's like I don't know. I'm optimistic. I think it's just a time, and it's fucking shitty. I hate it, and I blame it all on COVID, and I blame it all on China. You motherfuckers, you motherfucking
I mean,
cocksuckers,
I
China,
don't.
because it all started with the riots. The riots would not have been this bad without COVID. I think
I disagree. I
definitely
disagree. I think this all
no.
this all
I think they're
started
connected.
when I really got on the train about this mind frame was when all this stuff happened at Evergreen State College. That's when I checked. I was so upset. I was so mad, and it was just like that people could look at that and not just be like, "You guys are retarded." Like what you stand for, everything, this whole Me Too movement, this whole just like liberal equality movement that's just skyrocketed in the last 6 7 years. I can't get on board. What do you remember the whole Evergreen State College? They like forced that teacher out. They
I don't,
they took over the college, and that's where microaggressions came from. That was the first hint of microaggressions, and like
oh
the
yeah,
dean of students. You can get on YouTube. There's a
yeah,
bunch of videos, and he's just talking. He's talking like I am now, and he like holds his hands out, and then some kid is just like microaggressions. Stop using your hands, and you watch the video like, what is happening right now? And it's just like that isn't just Evergreen State College. That's just campuses are like that across the United States. Eh, I can't get on board with that. I can't
yeah,
get I think I just see it getting much
yeah.
worse. I'm going to be on the pessimistic
No,
side that it's just going to keep snowballing in this real weird
well,
direction.
yeah. I'm not saying it's not going to get worse. I'm just saying it's not going to be the end of the nation. It's just going to be how much of the life as you know it currently is going to change. Is it going to change 180 degrees or is it going to change just a little bit? Who knows? You
Yeah.
know,
But how
the
much
the sad
how much
part is
How much change?
Yeah, the obvious. Well, yeah, sorry. Go.
Now I've like lost that. How much change? Like, like it's with the economy. Like, how many things can keep nicking away at something before it breaks, or something drastic happens? Like, how many times can a small business in Portland have its window broken before it just shuts down? And then how many of those occur before numbers
Yeah,
actually start stacking up? You know what I mean? Like, how many movie
yeah,
theater, how many things can close and shut down and live through this, and how many like bailouts can be set up before we actually start, it
yeah,
actually starts affecting people. And this idea that we're just, that this can't, or then you have a massive amount of people that want this torn out. Like that is, the fringe liberal groups want to tear everything down, top, from treetop to root,
so
rip it
crazy.
down.
Yeah,
They think
yeah,
capitalism and the creation of America was racist. 100%. You cannot get around that with these people. And there is a massive group of
yeah.
people that feel that way. How do you where do you
Right.
go from that? And there's no solution.
Yeah.
There's no solution they're really
Right.
giving other than, well, socialism, the socialist communist idea. And they hate the word communism, but really that's what they're after, is a communist state to where everyone's equal and you have a real local source, or a real small source of power that divvies everything up. And they think that this utopia can happen, and I totally disagree. I do not think so. And when you have,
Oh yeah. By the way, last episode when you were like you were like you have a lot of utopian ideas. I gave that up when I was young. Meanwhile, I didn't put together that at the beginning of the show you're like we should all move to California and put a wall up and it'll just be paradise for all of us. Until I listened back, I was like, God damn it. He just had the utopian idea. But I mean, obviously at the heart of all the evil craziness that's happening right now, I feel like is the media, and that's just something that doesn't even have to be said anymore. They it's just known that the media is fucking dividing everybody. Um but yeah, if you want to take it back 6 7 years, then yeah, there's a lot of movements that started 6 7 years ago that have led us to here. But I just feel like the as far as 2020 goes, it was the fucking COVID shit that just escalated it. It just escalated it. When the Minneapolis thing happened and people had already been out of work for 2 months, that's when it was just like ba ba,
yeah,
and then all the fucking crazy
it
that
definitely
happened.
didn't help.
And
That's
it's
for
China.
sure.
Yeah,
And I do want to
it's
make a PSA real quick. I feel bad sometimes after these conversations. I want to thank anybody that can sit through
I do.
this that absolutely disagrees with everything I say. I appreciate you. I appreciate that you can listen to someone with a different idea or mindset and just agree to disagree. And I'm sure a lot of people are
Yeah,
I'm sure we've had a listener that hears my ideas and just checks out. You know what I mean? Like, nope, not listening to this. And I'm sorry. Sorry to you for being that guy, for being this kind of on the fringes, just spouting things out without even considering that I may be making some people extremely angry. Just, yeah, little PSA.
no,
I'm sorry to people. I'm sorry that I'm extremely blunt with my ideas and bullheaded with them. And I appreciate Brad for being real down the middle, which kind of sucks because then you're still leaving out kind of the left side of that because you don't have someone really arguing
I know.
against me. And we'll try, we had Steve. Maybe we try to have a few more people that want to debate the idea. But altogether, at the end of each episode that we get down a rabbit hole like this, I feel bad that I'm even talking about politics. It's like, why am I even talking about politics? One,
Yeah,
I'm not smart.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And this isn't my forte.
yeah.
I shouldn't even be speaking. To me telling
No,
LeBron to shut up, well, I also need to shut up. You know what I mean? I'm just a construction
yeah,
worker. I have no business in government. You know what I mean? I got a C in government class. You know what I mean? Like I'm not I'm not smart.
oh,
You know what I mean? Like, so sorry.
I damn near I was this close to failing government class. I was as squeak by as you could possibly get. Could you imagine if they play LeBron a clip and put a microphone in his face and be like, Do you think this guy, this Eric Beavers, should have an opinion and speak out against Black Lives Matter?
Oh
Anyway,
yeah,
I don't
he'd
know.
be like, this kid
Eric and
needs to
Bradshaw
shut
at
up.
yeah, Eric and Bradshaw at gmail.com if you want to comment on anything. Um, I don't know. I think we'll be fine. But the other thing was you can't, like how I say, it's just ebbs and flows. We kind of just go through kind of craziness every once in a while. If someone goes down, if someone's walking through a riot on their way home from work, just trying to get home, and they get killed, you can't tell their family, it's just ebbs and flows, man. Like, this is just, we'll get through this all. It'll be fine. This stuff just happens. Like, no. So for a lot of people, it does seem like this is like we're gonna make change or we're gonna die trying. This is it. We're, a lot of people willing to die on their hill right now. But for, like I said, a lot of these small towns right now, it's just life is normal.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, and even I'm in a
My
pretty
perspective is probably
big town. I'm in Beaverton, which is kind of Portland. It's right there. There's I think 500, 600, 700,000 people in Beaverton, somewhere in there. It's a relatively good
Jesus.
sized town. It's a city.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you don't. If you turn off the TV, other than at Nike World Center, when you drive by, that's where that's where the Beaverton hub of BLM is. Which it's not it's a protest, but a 100% peaceful protest. Nothing ever has happened there. It's just people lining the roads, signs. It's real peaceful. Other than that, you literally would not know. No one talks about it. You don't. I don't go into a store and someone's like on this kick, or go to the taco truck and someone's talking about it.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like when we talk about politics on here, when I was thinking about some of our conversation with Lawrence Purrier yesterday, where we were kind of talking about our show, and I was trying to make the point of, and probably failing, of that I would hope that some people that listen to this appreciate the fact that it's not just the same political bullshit that you're hearing everywhere else, because sometimes it's don't you want to, like, have conversations at work and at home and stuff you watch and stuff you listen to, don't you want it to not just be the same political bullshit all day long, and that you want a tiny little escape every once in a while? Because I feel that way. So it's nice to kind of not talk about politics on the show, even though
I'm going to
sometimes
really
it's just
make an
fucking
effort not to, because it's one of my favorite things, like listening to Two Bears, One Cave or Your Mom's House or shows
Yeah.
like that. They don't touch it at all. Like once in a while, she'll throw in a little like, I hate Trump. But it's like, bam, bam, done. And then they go about, it's all comedy. It's all comedy. And I love it. It's a great escape. It's just like, okay, let's not talk about COVID. Let's not, I don't want to hear about it anymore. It doesn't accomplish anything
I
just
know.
talking about it. So I'm very sorry, and I will try my hardest not to bring it up.
Well, I'll tell you this. If the NFL season, for some reason, does not get from week 1 to the Super Bowl, I will fucking go off on China, because I feel like that's where this is all started. When they tried to cover this virus up and not tell people about it, and they tried to deal with it themselves, if somehow that's affecting my 2021 football season, I'm going. It's going. It's go time. I'll just say that. So go Eagles.
Go Eagles. Well, we love you guys. Yeah. Sorry I took it political at the end, but we appreciate you guys sticking around.
Okay.
Thank you, Merrick. Crap.
Merrick.
There it is. I knew my name was in his name. Thank you very much. Great guest. I can't wait to do this again. Episode 20 in the books. Eric and Brad Show. iTunes, Spotify. I'm not as good at listing them out as Brad is.
It's okay.
YouTube. You want to? Here, come here. The star of the show. You want to do Eric and Brad Show? Say it.
Eric and Brad Show.
Woo! Jesus, it sounds just like the recording.
Yep. Rock and roll. Thank you, baby girl. Okay, well, you guys have a good week.
All right.
We'll see you next week. Bye.